Okay, there we go. Now it stopped. It still showed that I could still hear my intro playing. I don't understand why it like started from the beginning and started. Hey, everybody. Hey, Justin. Hi, Haley. Hi, Missy. Hi, Angie. How's it going? Am I muted? Am I? It doesn't show that I'm muted. Can you not hear me? I'm not still muted, am I? Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure because it didn't show that I was muted. So that's why I just wanted to make sure that my thing wasn't messed up. Okay. So how is everybody today? Oh my goodness. So tonight is one that y'all requested. We're going to do some royal inbreeding tonight. And they like to keep it in the family. And I don't see, they claim that it's called keeping it pure. I don't feel that at all. It is not. Now, Uncle Junior, I think it was you that kind of started this on my last podcast. Hey, Annette. Y'all requested serial killers. Was that you started that, Uncle Junior? I can't remember who started that, but let me tell you something. So that's going to be Friday night. We're just going to say y'all are going to regret requesting that because there's just some fucked up people out there that I didn't even know existed. I didn't even know about it. Hi, Fluffies. So y'all are going to find out Friday. I ain't even going to bring it up. There's all I'm going to say is there is one serial killer out there right now. I'm going to tell you that makes Jeffrey Dahmer look like a baby. Makes him look like nothing. Okay? Nothing. And that's hard to do. So tonight, I actually have some pictures of these fellas and, well, ladies too. And yeah. But y'all have to bear with me a little bit because hey, Chrissy, I tried to upload them in order and it still scrambled them up. So, okay. So we're going to stop off. So royalty, they're infamous for marrying within their own. Now, they normally do this when one can't produce an heir, which happens quite often, I guess. They can't produce a male heir, which they try to do. But sometimes they can't produce anything. So anyway, so this is a way to ensure the longevity of their name and to keep their birthright intact. Also a way to ensure the purity. I don't feel this is purity at all. Of the so-called royal bloodline. It is not pure, but family disputes were resolved by arranging marriages between family members. No, there's some fucked up people. There's some really messed up people in the royals, okay? Okay, so there's quite a few kings, emperors, etc., with medical and genetic issues caused by the inbreeding. So, yeah. Hey, Mandy, y'all didn't even realize that King Tut was inbred, and he was a fucked up guy. But we're going to get to him because I think he's like number 2 or 3 or anyway. We're going to start out. Let me get over here to the pictures here. Come on. Oh, I went past them. Excuse me. Okay. We're going to start with King Charles II from Spain. Now, I just got to find him real quick. Oh, here he is. Boop. Okay. So, I can't blow this up, but okay. So, he couldn't eat or drink without help. The House of Habsburg was one of the most powerful royal houses in Europe at one time. It wouldn't be wrong to say that the massive inbreeding in the royal house was plagued with mutations and genetic disorders, and the worst of which started with Charles II. He's also known as El Hechizado. At 8 years old, he could barely walk. He always had to have help moving around with a wheelchair or a cane or something. He constantly drooled on himself, and he spoke and ate with great difficulty. Now, because of his title, he was married 2 different times, but he could not produce an heir. He died heirless because of his disabilities. And his death put an end to the reign of the Habsburg in Spain. Now, the Habsburg jaw, I'm sure you guys understand what the Habsburg jaw is, where the bottom jaw comes real forward. As y'all can see, I wish I could blow that picture up, but I can't. But he had, I don't know, you can't see the drool in this picture. There's a lot of these pictures that are kind of old and they're just not like today's pictures, so they're not good. But his whole jaw, he couldn't eat. He drooled on himself. This poor guy. He died. He was 39 years old. He died of his disabilities, and he died in November of 1700. So there's that guy. So he's the first one on our wonderful list here. We're going to go now with Ferdinand I of Austria. Boop. Okay, so he was the Emperor of Austria from 1835 until his abdication. I have no idea what that is. In 1848, was also a Habsburg who suffered from inbreeding. So he was kin to King Charles II. His parents, Emperor Franz II and Marie Therese, were double first cousins. So this guy's parents were double first cousins, which means they shared both sets of grandparents. Okay. He was born with the Habsburg jaw. So he had that jaw that came out, which is a protruding jaw. He had epilepsy and hydrocephalus, which causes a buildup of fluids in the brain, leading to brain damage. As ruler of Austria, Ferdinand was also president of the German Confederation and king of Hungary, Bohemia, and Croatia. He was the one in charge, but his many counselors controlled his empire because he wasn't able to make stable decisions. He found ways to amuse himself. He liked sitting in a trash can and rolling around. He lived in Prague till he died in 1875. I guess just because you have a title, it's terrible that, hey, Annie. Which one renounced his throne? I'm sorry. I have the picture in front of me, so I wasn't looking at the which one? Which one? This Charles II or Ferdinand? That's why people like microscopic noses. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I know they both had the Habsburg jaw, and they were kin. God, there's so many in here that's just fucked up. Ferdinand. Oh, that's what abdication means. Because I didn't know what that means. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. So we're going to move on to, keep in mind, I can't see the comments when I'm showing a picture. So, and I'll check the comments as soon as I get back from the picture. So we're going to move on to Europe's Queen Victoria. I think this is there. Okay. Boop. Now, Queen Victoria and her husband, Prince Albert. I'm sorry, when that just makes me laugh because when I hear Prince Albert, I think of the piercing. Anyway, her and her husband, Prince Albert, were first cousins. So they were blood related. Queen Victoria had hemophilia, which is a rare blood disorder causing blood not to clot properly. And it came on spontaneously. Prince Albert also carried this gene, which was the start of all the spread through so many descendants of theirs. Hemophilia was spread down to, gets kind of confusing. It's spread down to Tsarina Alexandria of Russia, which is her granddaughter. Alexia Romanov, which is her great granddaughter. And that was the downfall of the Romanov dynasty. Others were Victoria's other granddaughter, Princess Alice of Battenberg, and Leopold, the Duke of Albany, which was her son. So the hemophilia was spread throughout that family. But yeah, they were first cousins. It's just very, I'm glad it's not just a Southern thing. They say about us in Florida and Alabama and Mississippi, you know. Jerry Lee Lewis married his first cousin, really? Now, okay, so I couldn't help but make fun of that. When I hear Prince Albert, I think of, the piercing. It's funny to me. I'm sorry. That's just, I could never. No. So I think that's the only, because I even remember right when I was writing it down, I was laughing. I just don't know why it makes me laugh. I don't know why Prince Albert makes me laugh. She was 14. Huh. No shit. Inbreeding in Missouri. There's inbreeding everywhere. I mean, it really is. I mean, it's just so common, though, in royals because they're supposed to have their heirs. And if they can't produce one, then they, I think it's also Kentucky and Alabama. It's everywhere. It's fucking everywhere. All right. Let me go back over to my pictures. We are going to go to Prince John of the UK. Now I have to look for them because I tried to upload them in order and they did not go in order. Prince John of UK. Please don't tell me I'm missing one. Well, shit. I think I'm missing one. Shit. I don't have this picture. I think I'm missing one. So I completely apologize. John, it's not there. Shit, I'm sorry. I don't know why it didn't upload today. Shit. Okay, well, we'll talk about it. So Prince John of UK, the fifth son of King George V and Queen Mary. So Prince John suffered from inbreeding, which was common among the European royals at that time. He was born in 1905, and he was diagnosed with epilepsy at an early age, which caused seizures and cognitive challenges. Wait a minute, I remember I thought I uploaded this picture. I know exactly. It's a little kid. Well, shit, it's not here. Huh. I thought it uploaded. I apologize, but it's not there. Anyway. So he was managed privately within the royal family and was mostly kept out of the public's eye. No. This Southern girl does not do inbreeding here either. Because just the thought of anyone in my family makes me sick to my fucking stomach. But anyway, Prince John contributed to charitable activities and was cared for with affection and compassion. His life serves as an example of the complexities faced by royals from inbreeding. So he didn't marry or anything. So he was just a prince. He wasn't a king or anything like that. So now we're going to move on to, y'all did not realize. Okay, so we're going to talk about King Tut. Nobody realized that King Tut was inbred. Okay. So, oh God, my back is killing me. All right. Inbreeding originated in Egyptian mythology, where the goddess Isis married her brother Osiris to maintain the purity of the bloodline. Yes. A lot of pharaohs married their siblings to maintain their bloodline. King Tut was born to siblings and was very sick and weak child. Now, they found King Tut's mummy, which was, they said it was perfectly preserved, and they did a bunch of scans on him, on these big, so whatever. They were done on King Tut's mummy, and it shows that he had persistent malaria, an elongated skull. He had a cleft palate, and he had a club foot. Did y'all know that? Cleft palate and a club foot. So he walked with a cane. He had a permanent limp. Apparently, he had a pretty fucked up face. He was a tiny little thing, too. With these disabilities, he was an invalid. His life was difficult. He married his sibling, and their children died very young. It's speculated that he died due to his genetic illnesses from inbreeding and not an outside source. I did never know that about King Tut. And I know we've had the same discussion. I'm still waiting because, you know, I love that we've talked about that. He did have a big butt. What? Oh, I didn't hear anything about his hiney. The royals are controlling Cece's phone. Right? I keep having to look around the pictures. Um, Egyptians maybe seem to be a very small. Well, apparently he was a very tiny little thing anyway. He was very small. But okay, so what I was saying was they're still looking for Cleopatra. But Cleopatra originally married her brother. Don't know if they consummated, don't know if any of her children were from her brother. But she initially married her brother so he couldn't rule without her. So she married her brother to keep him from becoming king, and then she killed her brother so he wouldn't rule. So that's now again, I don't know if she came from siblings. I don't know what her family was beforehand. I've seen documentaries on Cleopatra, but not on her parents. So I don't know if maybe they were brother and sister or first double cousins, whatever. I don't know if she was inbred or inbred herself. So I don't know. But King Tut, I never knew that King Tut had a club foot and a cleft palate. So that was a little shocking when I read that. Or did any of you know that? I saw where they did the scans, but I had only heard of the illnesses. I didn't know that about like the palate and the clubfoot. Even in the documentary, I didn't know it. Excuse me, I have been up so I've just I hate day shift. I wake up way too early and then I'm just so tired so fast. So let me get over here to the pictures. Boop. Okay. We are going to go to King George III. So this is King George of England. Okay, so a royal from the House of Hanover. He's from the 1800s. He was known for his inbreeding and was the ruler of England when the American colonies declared their independence. George suffered from porphyria, an inherited disorder which causes one's urine to turn bluish purple. I'm not sure how I would like my pee being purple. He also had psychiatric symptoms. He also had hysteria, phobias, hallucinations, and altered consciousness ranging from drowsiness to coma. It's reported he would talk at length until he would foam at the mouth. Now, it doesn't say anything about how many times he married. I don't know if he had children. I don't know if he married his damn sister or own daughter. What, I have no idea. It doesn't say. I just know I couldn't handle. I'm sorry. And I know the royals and it like earlier is said because of who he was and his title, and he married twice and bore children, and I don't. Okay, so if this guy or I don't know, I don't care of a fucking title or what, but if somebody is laying there and drooling on themselves and just, I couldn't have sex with them. I don't care if they're a king or queen or pharaoh or whatever the fuck you want to call them. If they're sitting there drooling on themselves, there ain't no way I could even make that work. Am I the only one? I mean, I could understand the clubfoot. Okay. That's down there. You don't have to look at it. Cover it up with a blanket. You don't have to look at the foot. Okay. That's fine. But what did he say was wrong? Hold on a minute. What, drooling. He was married twice. He was drooling all over. What is it? Which one was it that he was constantly he had the bottom jaw and epilepsy and hydrocephalus, which is the brain damage. And then he's drooling and couldn't eat or walk. Could you make it work? Could you get it up? I'm serious. It's a serious question for the dudes. Would you be able to make that work? Could you get it up? Would you be able to attempt to impregnate a queen if she's invalid or brain damaged and drooling on herself? Could you? Get out. Oh God. I wouldn't be able to even put a bag on his head, just knowing that he's I couldn't sit there and do that to somebody with brain damage. I'm sorry. Call me every name in the book. I don't know. That's just not. I couldn't do it. I could not be that female. Oh God. Yeah, I'd have to drink a whole fucking bottle of whiskey. I couldn't be that female that was going in there and laying there and letting this. Nope. No. I couldn't. I couldn't. You'd have to use a whole bottle of KY. I'd have to drink like 2 bottles of the fucking whiskey. You'd have to knock me unconscious for me because there's no way if I'm even no. I just don't. No, anyway. We're moving on to, let me get back over to the pictures. We're gonna move on. We're going to Maria the First. Find her. Here we go. And she's of Portugal. She's also called Maria the Mad. Okay, so she was the first undisputed queen of Portugal and the first monarch of Brazil. So the inbreeding in her family was pretty rampant. She contributed to that by marrying her uncle, making her son also her cousin. So her son is also her cousin because she married her uncle. So she was known to suffer from melancholia, don't know what that is, and porphyria. She would howl, growl, and shriek like an animal. She had a mental breakdown in 1791 and always spoke of committing suicide after that. Now that reminds me of Terry. Now, I don't know if Terry's in here, but Terry always, there's been a few funeral workers who would do it with, I've heard that. And the one girl got pregnant from the dead body. Okay, so yes, I do believe that, but this was way back in the day, Justin. This was way back in the day, and this is royals in the family, and they're trying to keep the name going, and I don't think it was quite illegal back then. But, excuse me, there was one girl, you can Google it too. You can Google it because she was arrested, I think. But she had sex with the dead body because it was, and I guess there was some stuff in there. And yeah, it she had this dead man's baby. Oftentimes a male job, and who wanted to marry a gravedigger? That could have been, oh, excuse me. Golly, y'all, please forgive my yawning because this is just terrible tonight. I'm so tired. So, no. It doesn't even explain like what was, if anything was the matter with their children. But her son was also her cousin. See, that's just weird to me. That's so weird to me. Yeah, it did. I'm not even kidding you. Google it. It'll tell you her name and everything. And she just hopped right on up there and did it. And yeah, and I think she got arrested for that or charged or something. Anyway, did something. Anyway. So, okay. Excuse me. We are going to go over here to Elizabeth of Bavaria. Am I being too loud for you, Holly? Okay. So she belonged to the House of Wittelsbach, which is another family famous for inbreeding. Her parents were first cousins, and then she married her first cousin, Franz Joseph. She was very beautiful, but she suffered mentally and had anorexia and depression. She would not eat. Her son committed suicide because of his health issues, so she became intolerant for people to handle. And in 1898, she was murdered by an Italian anarchist. So her parents were first cousins, and then she married her first cousin. So I could imagine how fucked up her son was, and he ended up committing suicide. So I guess after that, oh God, excuse me, she became too much. Yeah, so apparently she was super skinny, wouldn't eat, and had mental issues already, plus the depression on top of the mental issue. I'm surprised she didn't kill herself, but yep, she was murdered by an Italian anarchist because he probably got tired of her shit. Probably got tired of her shit. So we're going to move on to the next one, and we are going to, let's see, it's right here. See, some of these are in order. Okay, so this is King Ludwig II of Bavaria. That's where Elizabeth is from. He's a cousin of Elizabeth and was inbred. He's a member of the Wittelsbach. So, yes, he is Elizabeth's cousin. He had severe mental illness. He inherited the throne at 18 and was inexperienced and unable to make decisions in the affairs of the state. He did approve of the building of huge palaces as symbols of his passion of escaping reality. Okie dokie. In 1886, he was removed from the throne due to high spending of money and his erratic behavior. He died of mysterious circumstances shortly after. I'm thinking he was killed, but we can't prove it. A lot of people with the mental illnesses, they're just nasty people. They're mean, they're nasty, they don't realize it. They think that they're special. Oh, I see. I'm not even looking at their dang nose. Yeah. So this chick here, Princess, okay, so I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. I'm going to pull up the picture and you guys can see it as I'm trying to say it. Oh, damn, it doesn't show her name. Fuck. Okay, so it's Princess Nahianana. Nahianana. Nene? Nahianene? We're going to call her Princess Nene of Hawaii, okay? So she was a high-ranking princess in the early 19th century. She was in love with her older brother, King Kamehameha III, and all was in favor for that marriage. So she married her older brother, her sibling, and they had children which passed at a young age because of their illnesses. So apparently they were pretty bad off because she married her own brother. So that's pretty fucked up. I had a grandpa that worked at a state hospital for mentally. See, let me tell you something. Props to anyone who can work with the mentally challenged. I have been in the law enforcement side of it. I've had to Baker Act, and I've been around the mental challenged. I couldn't do it full time. I don't have a lot of patience. So I give the people that are nurses or whatever to the mentally challenged, I give them hella props. I tell you what, because that's a lot. And I didn't explain why that reminded me of Terry earlier. So where is it? The Elizabeth? No, where was it? Who's the one that barked like a dog or screamed like animals? Shriek like animals. So Maria the First of Portugal. So she's the one that reminds me of Terry. Y'all know Terry Rabin. She's always in here. I don't know where she is at tonight. She might be working late. But Terry always makes a joke that she hadn't had any in so long that when she finally gets it, she's going to probably bark like a dog. So that just makes me funny that she would shriek and growl and bark like an animal. Sorry. Y'all can tell her I said that. I'll tell her I said that. I just think that's hilarious. It just automatically reminded me of her. I could just... So Move on over here to the next picture. Okay, so this is don't know if his name will show. Okay, so this is King Chulalongkorn, sort of like Longhorn, but it's Korn. So it's Chulalongkorn, and he is of Thailand. So he's also known as King Rama V from Thailand. Rama V belonged to the cousin marriage fam in the Chakri dynasty. As a matter of fact, they encouraged you to marry a sibling or a family member. So these Asian kings maintained extensive harems along with their own children. To marry, Rama V only had one wife, Queen Savabha, which was his first cousin, but he procreated with more than 3 cousins and 2 of his own daughters. Okay, so he was a very erratic man, whimsical, and on the border of insane. It's said that he would have sex with his own mother, but would only have children with his sisters and cousins. All of them had genetic disorders and disfigurements, is what it says here. Nope. 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 There's not going to be any with the mama or the sisters and brothers. And yes, yeah, I give that hella props for, but yes, this Chulalongkorn. So he would have sex with his own mom, but would only have children with his sisters and cousins. So what would be, why would you have, so if you had a kid, it would be your daughter and sister or son and brother? No. That's fucked up. Because even if you have sex and have a child with your own daughter, it would be your daughter and niece at the same time, correct? There were these 2 girls in my school who were dating. They found out they were cousins when their family. Oh my God. You know, though, like distant families that they're not close at all. And like, there's been people that have an identical twin and they don't fucking know it. But yeah, I've heard of the same thing, Fluffies, that a guy and a girl was dating at a high school, and they ended up doing that 23andMe or whatever the fuck it is, and found out they were brother and sister. Definitely be uncle, daddy, brother, sister, mom. Oh my God. See, that's just fucked up stuff. I'm sorry. That's just fucked up. No. I've only got a few more. Okay, so the next one, you guys might have heard the next one. This guy, he's known as Caligula. Excuse me. So Caligula, this is so they did this thing. I don't know if y'all can't. I don't know if y'all can. No, y'all probably can't. So I'm looking for my finger. This picture over here is supposed to be like what he would look like today. This is like an old mold of him over here. So this is a sculpt that they did of what he's possibly looking like today. What he would have looked like. So Caligula, he's a Roman emperor. He's known for his sexual perversions, cruelty, and sadism. He had sexual relationships with his own sisters and married his own sister. Based on his reign, he was painted as an insane tyrant. He was the son of Germanicus, who was a Roman general when he became emperor. He was cruel and would even make parents watch their children be tortured. He felt that he was divine, but he had very erratic behavior and was killed at a sporting event in 41 AD. No. So I've heard of Caligula, and the only brothers you knew were not a match, right? Okay. So how about when the DNA comes back? Oh no. Hey, Rick. No. That's no. No. Mm-mm. Angie, that's fucked up. And the fucked up part about that, Angie, is it's probably actually happened before. That's probably from a damn true story. I don't know. I couldn't have lived back then. It is an active case. I knew it. I was going to say it's probably from a true story because I have seen some fucked up shit just in my 23 years of law enforcement. I have seen some messed up shit, and it's just a wonder that I'm not a 20. So I tell you, this is why law enforcement officers go nuts. Because of the shit that we see and that we have to act like it doesn't bother us. But I couldn't have lived back then. I would have. I couldn't have lived back then with Caligula and the Vikings and all that. I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have lived back then. I could not have done this whole fucking inbreeding and nope. No. I think I've only got 2 left. God. Okay, so we're going to move on to King Charles VI. He is also called Charles the Mad. His whole life, he had constant bouts of delusional and paranoid behavior. He was convinced that his body was made of glass and that he could shatter at any moment. He was also diagnosed with schizophrenia. He was insane and homicidal and would get rid of anyone he felt threatened by, including his own mother and wives. He would marry many different people simultaneously and even made a slave boy dress up as a woman because he looked like his second wife, who he killed. See, now this one doesn't explain to me, did he marry a sister? Was his parents married? Like, I don't understand. Like, was the parents brother and sister, cousins, or whatever? It didn't explain any of that to me on this one. Just that because of the inbreeding, he was crazy. My heart goes out to you and all law enforcement. Thank you thank you. Thank you. That's appreciated. You know, I don't know how cops can do and see things. Yeah, I don't. Good night, Mandy. Thanks for popping in. How did he get the deed done if he's so fragile? I don't know. Maybe he's bulletproof glass. I don't fucking know. I don't know, but yeah, apparently he killed his own mom and his wives. He made a slave boy dress up as a woman because he looked like his second wife. It didn't say if he killed the little boy because he killed his second wife, the one that the boy looked like. So I don't know I didn't get that far, I guess, because it didn't tell me if he ended up killing them or not. I guess it was just explaining to me how crazy they were because of the inbreeding. So the last one I have, let me get over there. This is King Christian VII of Denmark. Okay. So he succeeded the throne in 1766 after his father's death. His parents were first cousins, and his grandparents were brother and sister. After he took the throne, it was obvious he was abnormal. What is that noise? His consistent masturbation was another factor that contributed to his mental illness. He was pulled through the palace on a wheeled throne and was held down when he went into a rage. He demanded organ music be played to calm his nerves. He had an adulterous affair with his own mother, then was later executed in 1772. You know, apparently he masturbated a lot. I gotta sneeze. I feel a sneeze. Oh my God, I'm so sleepy. Consistent masturbation was another factor. Okay, so all the boys, if you masturbate that much, does it cause mental illness? Like, I don't. I don't know what to think about that one. So that's all I found. That's all I have. Never heard of that. Okay. Well, I've got Friday nights pinned. That will be Friday night. Maybe that's what's wrong. Stop it. The loss of fluids really dehydration. Will that cause dehydration if you do that much? Would it? Here's my thing though. If you did it that much, wouldn't it be raw and like get painful? I mean, I'm thinking, if it was that much, but would that cause dehydration? Like, y'all's gonna have to Google that and let me know, because I have no clue that if you masturbate excessively, it'll cause you to dehydrate. Masochist. No, well, I don't know. A masochist is someone who enjoys pain, though, isn't it? Right? A masochist is somebody who enjoys getting pain inflicted upon them in everywhere. Okay. So anyway, I don't know. I really don't know what to think about that. I think inbreeding is just terrible. Again, I'm glad I am born and raised in my era that I was, because I couldn't have lived back then. I would have been, I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have lived back then. That is just not my time. Because I'm just such a bitch. I wouldn't have been nice to people. People probably would have thought I was insane, because I'm just I just hate people. I'm such a bitch. Yeah, it's wrong. It wasn't back then, though, because that's really all they knew. They needed to keep their family going. They needed to keep their heirs going. What else were they supposed to do? I guess, I guess so. Good Lord. Apparently, there was nothing wrong with that down there, because he did it quite a bit. So whatever. Anyway, just don't know. That's why they didn't starve that year. Oh my God, that's so disgusting. That's gross. That is so disgusting, Fluffies. Oh my God, I can't believe you went there. Fucking gross. Anyway, so we're going to end it on that note. Yeah. So, but thank you guys for coming and joining me on the inbreeding, since y'all requested it. Now keep in mind, y'all better be here for Friday, because all of y'all requested these serial killers now. And I'm telling you, when you hear these, I'm telling you, there is a guy in there that makes Jeffrey Dahmer look mild. Okay. I couldn't believe it. I've never heard of him. This was before my time. I didn't even want to write it down, but I did. And this guy is a sick MFer. Okay. And I didn't think it was possible to make Jeffrey Dahmer look mild, but he sure did. I'm going to have to say, I feel that is the worst serial killer I've ever heard. The worst. Bring it in the stream. Is there a better way I can get in touch with you? Oh, you will. Well, it'll be posted so you can watch it back if you want. But we will miss you. Or if you're out of town and can be on, then we will still look for you. But I'll still send you the invites. So if you can make it, you can make it. Haley, the best way to contact with me is through email. Or the way that you have been corresponding with me. My email is KEYSLEO, Keys Leo, because I was a law enforcement officer in the Keys. So I've just had that same email ever since. So it's KEYSLEO at Gmail is my email. Or you can continue corresponding with me through TikTok. That's all I can tell you right now. The more I get to know people, then, that's just the way that goes, I guess. But I'm also on Snapchat. I am on Snapchat. I am Copper Lolly on Snapchat as well. So I am on there. If you want to correspond through Snapchat, we can do that as well. I am going to go snuggle up with Holly over there. She's having another dream. She's so dang cute. And I will see you guys on Friday. I hope you guys have a good couple of days. I work Wednesday, Thursday, day shift. So that's why I can't do one tomorrow night. But it's my last 2 day shifts. And I go back to night shift on Monday. Yay. So I'll be able to do my podcast a little more often. So, and also please, I know I remind you guys of this all the time. Please, if you think of titles or anything, let me know, email them to me, message me, and we'll see what we can work on. So, I'm already going to get Uncle Junior on here as a guest with me. I'm not going to stop until I get him on here. So it's going to happen, mister. I love all of you guys. Thank you so much for joining me tonight.